What is going on, Fracture Compass fans? We are here at an escape room called The Basement.
We're in the middle of Sylmar.
Yeah.
A little bit of a drive.
A little nervous here because this is our first escape room that we've done together as a unit.
And this is rated one of the top escape rooms to come into.
Yeah. So we're coming in hot. We're here to stay. But it's very exciting, so we're going to go ahead and give you a full review. We obviously cannot film inside the escape room. Why ruin all the fun? But we are ready. Let's do this.
I'm nervous.
Yeah, I'm nervous too. I don't know what to expect. And we are back from doing The Basement. It is a couple days after. We're kind of, getting our thoughts together on what we felt, how we felt.
That's right.
Who we felt about The Basement.
Who we felt. Wow. There is no touching in the basement.
Well, technically there is, actually. There's a little touching. It's just not the touching
that people normally do in a basement?
Yeah. This vlog is getting weird already.
Wow.
So,
anyways, if you don't know what the basement is located in Sylmar, which is up kind of past LA.
Mm-hmm. A little far drive.
Yeah, a little bit of far of a drive. It was probably about an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. But it is rated the one of the number one escape rooms in the LA area.
It is true. And let me tell you something. I have done a lot of escape rooms in my day. But The Basement has to be like on top, number one, the crowning jewel. So honestly, I have played a lot of escape rooms and I don't want to brag, but I have beaten a lot of escape rooms. And I think it's just the more you play escape rooms, the more you know what to look out for. The little tricks and tips on like what they do in escape rooms so you can solve them. But The Basement has still defeated me.
Yes. Now, there are percentage rates when you get in there, and they will tell you The Basement only has a 12% success rate, which makes it very, very difficult. It can fit up to 10 players inside that one room because there's a lot of components to The Basement. Now, they also have 3 or 4 other escape rooms that you can try inside there.
Mm-hmm. They have, so chapter 1 is The Basement.
Correct.
And then it follows the story of essentially, we don't want to give away spoilers, but your character, that as they're playing in The Basement, goes into chapter 2, which is the elevator shaft. Mm-hmm. Then you go into chapter 3, which is the study. And then you go into chapter 4, which I believe is the court. No.
The courtyard.
The courtyard.
Yes. So those are the 4 complete escape rooms experiences that you can have inside there. Each of them you have 45 minutes to escape from those areas. Now, in The Basement, they say you have 45 minutes before you are captured, caged, and consumed. The elevator shaft, you are captured, compacted, and disposed of. Chapter 3 in the study, you before you trespass, are captured and slaughtered. And then inside the courtyard, you have 45 minutes before you are eaten alive by dogs.
That one sounds horrible.
Yeah. But they all kind of follow a story. You fall out of the basement into the elevator shaft. You escape from the elevator shaft, like you said, into...
Let's talk about why you're in the basement in the first place.
Let's talk about it.
There is a story behind these escape rooms, and essentially you have been kidnapped by a very deranged man named Edward.
Edward Tandy.
Edward Tandy. And Edward has had a pretty rough life, and we won't go super into his backstory, because when you guys actually go into the lobby to put away your stuff in the lockers, there is an actual biography on the wall that you can read about Edward and why he does the things he does and who he is. But essentially he has kidnapped you and he's put you in his basement, the first escape room, chapter 1. And he essentially gives you 45 minutes to escape, and if not, then he's gonna go ahead and gas you and kill you. And so...
And then he's gonna eat ya!
And then he's gonna eat you. And I have to say that in terms of the storyline, they really did sell it, especially in the basement. I've done 2 of these. I've done the basement and the elevator shaft. I did not remember a lot of the basement because I did it back in like I think 2014. But I kind of came back to me a little bit, like the things that we had to do. The nice thing though about these escape rooms is that they do change up the puzzles if you've done it before. It was 5 years ago, so I didn't remember anything, so they didn't have to change up. But it's nice to know that, let's say for instance, you don't complete an escape room, that they will change up the puzzles, so that way when you come back, you can do it again with it being still a little fair, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So let's talk about getting to the basement. So first of all, you're going into Sylmar. It's kind of in an industrial area, and you'll just kind of see this blank kind of building. It'll just say the basement on it in silver. And you park inside the parking lot. There is parking. It's very small parking area, but not many people are going at a time. And especially if you carpool, use 1 car, use 2 cars, whatever. And they park there. Then you get out, and we were standing in front of the facility, and Jackie was with us, and Jackie goes and tries to open up the door, and the door doesn't open. And so we're like standing there, and then this guy comes up, and we found out his name was JP later, and I'm like looking at him, and I'm like, dude,
open the door.
Like, you work here. And
open the door.
Like, and I'm just totally like standing there, and then all of a sudden this head pops out, and this girl looks out and goes, hey, she's like, so you guys are here for the 840 basement? And we're like, yeah. And she's all like, gotta figure out how to get in. And she like lets JP in, but like closes the door. And so we're left outside, and I'm like, oh my God.
It's an escape room within an escape room.
It's starting. Like, it's starting right now. Like, and I'm like super jazzed. So we look off, and she's like, and she had told us like, figure it out. And so we look at this vending machine that was off to the left-hand side, and you had to figure out what candy to choose inside the vending machine. Once you figure out what candy to choose, you type in that code, and voila, the vending machine literally pops open, and that is the doorway into
which is really clever. Where do you see that? You know, it was crazy.
So they were like, yeah, that's to like start getting your brain to start thinking about like what you need to do and solving puzzles. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. It was a very great way to just start off going into this experience.
First and foremost, everybody was super nice inside there.
Yeah, they were really cool.
Anything that's in your pockets, cell phones, wallets, anything like that, has to go in a locker. And they give you a locker, and it does have a key, like padlock key thing. So you just, lock your lock, take the little key, and like put it on your arm. And then they basically, as soon as they're ready, they'll take you in. I'm totally taking over this vlog right now.
No, it's okay. I enjoy listening. I got it.
Super excited about it, you guys. Get out of here. So, as soon as they're ready to get you into the doorway, they say, okay, go inside this door, and go ahead, but don't go through any other doors. So you're heading in, and you're going into kind of this like huge area, and then, are you back?
I'm back.
All right. Anyways, you go into this area.
Like a holding area, essentially, before your escape room.
And we're looking around, and there's just doors. And they're like, don't go through any of the doors because we don't know what's behind those doors. And you're just like, and you're like already nervous. I was nervous. I was starting to get a little nervous.
I was too, a little bit, yeah.
Like, again, my first time in an escape room, and it's a horror-themed escape room, so I was like, I have no idea what to expect.
You didn't show it, though. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
So brave.
Stone cold. But inside, I'm all like, like whatever. So all of a sudden this dude, and we're not gonna give too much away, this dude comes out in a mask and a like hoodie thing, like cloak, and I'm all, oh God. And then JP comes out, and then he grabs the dude and brings, and I'm just like,
JP's the game master. Yeah, he's the one that's gonna be watching you through the cameras, essentially like, they're screwing up.
And I'm like, what is going on? And they have like this little fight thing and like tussle, and then bring it in, and I was like, oh my God. And then now I'm like officially like is he coming out like again? And he kept opening the door and looking at us and closing it, and then opening the door and closing it and looking. I was like, oh my god, we're dead. We're dead. I mean, granted, we just went through how many mazes and the 17th door.
Yeah, we're a little on edge.
And everything, and I'm just like, we're dead. We're dead. Like, we are actually going to die in here. And so, without giving spoilers, and if you're looking for us to tell you exactly how the room works and things, we are not going to do that on this video.
No.
And it wouldn't matter anyways, because they can change up everything if they want to. They can change up codes, puzzles, whatever they want to do.
Yep.
Hiding places. Everything is changeable.
But I think it's really important to note that we will be kind of describing you what we saw in terms of the decorations and some really important tips that we can give you without giving too much away to help you achieve escaping these escape rooms, because they are difficult.
They absolutely are.
But they're fair.
With the basement, you are asked to basically go into this room once you are into like a smaller holding area. Until you are briefed, and you're going to be briefed on what's going to be going on inside the room, and then you are asked to put your own hood over your head. Now, if you talk during the film, they will literally shut it off, and replay it over again, because you have to listen to every single safety issue or safety warning and direction that they're giving.
And also, they don't want you to destroy the room, which I'm sure a lot of people have, and so there are a lot of rules, like if you don't need to take anything off by force, you don't need to rip off the wires, you don't have to do anything like that, and I think they're very strict about that. Listen, don't talk, or else we'll just restart the thing and you'll just be there forever.
Yeah. So you put your own little hood over your head, and then you just wait, and you will be guided into the room. Now, what I didn't know is that I felt Jackie and Mike leave, and I'm still standing in this little holding room, and I'm like,
hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, I was like, am I supposed to move? Am I not supposed to move? I'm going to be guided in here, but then am I stupid? Am I just standing here? Like, all these thoughts were going through my head. And then I feel this hand just gently guide me into the room, not knowing it was the dude with the mask and the hood. I'm like, if I had seen that, if I had known that, I would have been like, oh.
See, and I was over here I'm in my element. I feel good. I feel great.
I mean, let's be honest, it's not the first time we've had a hood over our heads this season.
Yeah, and I knew that I wasn't gonna get shocked or pelted or something.
Who can say that? Well, it's not the first time I've had a hood over my head this season.
Hey, you know.
Anyways.
Go big, go home, I guess. We're just going for the stars there.
So you get inside the room, you can see a big red clock. Start to tick your time down. As soon as the lights come up, the hood comes off, and the game starts.
I mean, let's talk about the level of detail in this basement. You actually feel like you are in a basement. And, you can hear Edward pacing upstairs. They have speakers, so you can hear him, thinking and pacing.
Because before you take your hood off, Edward talks to you inside the room. Or he's talking to you basically through an intercom. Yeah,
and that really helps add to it. And just... I think, so let's talk about tips and tricks of...
surviving an escape room.
I think for sure, rule number one, and I think this is the most important rule, is that when you get into the escape room, tear apart everything within means. Don't rip things off the wall, but flip anything that you can, look under stuff, because there are a lot of clues scattered throughout this escape room, and we cannot tell you how many times we missed something, and it was as simple as looking under this object or looking under this object, because I think
that's the number one thing we kept messing up, is looking under things or looking through things. Don't take anything for granted in a room. Search
the pockets of anything, under stuff.
Yeah.
In cabinets, whatever you can, search through everything, and it's really going to come in handy, because there are a lot of times where we had a clue and we were literally missing a piece of the clue, and it was well, where is it? And it ended up being somewhere super simple.
And if it's a multi-room escape room like the basement is, stay in one room, or designate somebody to stay in one room while somebody else goes somewhere else, to completely just scour the whole place till you are 100% sure that there is nothing left in
And there
there.
will probably be like 6 things you missed still.
Yeah, like, because honestly, we kept going back to I was like, okay, we're missing stuff, and I had to keep going back to things and start searching through things again and going like, oh my god.
And I think
Like,
that's
here
actually
it
a
is.
good point. Thank you for bringing that up, because that leads us into number 2. Big tip for number 2 is don't overthink it. You know what? Surprisingly, it is overwhelming. And I think Bree can really attest to this too, because this was her first escape room. But there is so many layers to this particular room, because it's meant for 10 people. And it was just me, Bree, and Jackie. There's 3 people in that room.
Of us.
I actually think that worked to our advantage, and we'll go into that later. But because there was only 3 people, there was less bodies in this room to kind of just scavenge through everything. And
I think it was an advantage and a disadvantage.
we were able to communicate really well. It wasn't hectic in terms of like, what did we solve? But we'll go into that later, because that's another tip.
Yeah.
But don't overthink things. Some of the clues are actually far more simple than we for sure thought they were. And I was like, oh, well, okay, well, that's what that is. And so what I would recommend is just don't overthink it. And if it is really like stumping you, walk away from it, because it's probably not time for that clue to be solved. And they even kind of say, like, on like the little like rule thing, like, don't get frustrated, and if something's taking you more than 2 to 3 minutes to solve, walk away and let someone else try, or just move on to another clue. I think, and tip number 3 was communication, I think, for sure.
Communicate. If you find something, or designate, if there are clues to find in a room, designate a space to put all the clues.
Yeah.
So if you've got something that's open-ended, it all goes here. If there are keys involved, they all go here. Oh my god, there was a mosquito.
Oh my gosh, they're everywhere! Yo, I've been getting bit up so
It
much.
was like right in my ear.
I know, did you hear it?
Yeah. So designate a space for everything to go. If there's clues, they go here. If there's keys, they go here. Try not to leave anything anywhere. Don't put anything in your pockets.
Yeah.
Because you will forget about it, or you're going to walk away with it. And I think that was one of the things that they said to us before we left the room is, are your pockets clear? Because I'm pretty sure people have just been like, oh, I'll just stick this over here.
Yeah, people are...
Like,
but...
and it's super innocent, but you forget, and then they're like, where's the key to our master,
Yeah, it's just the whole room is just ruined now. Oh, and they also had a whiteboard with a marker, which is really, really helpful, because that
write stuff down if there is a way to do so.
Yeah.
Especially in the basement. The basement had a lot of clues and things that you had to kind of remember. And then, like, you took one clue, put it to this, and then you got this, you know? So I
communicate. Just communicate. Look through everything as much as possible, and don't get caught up on one clue. And I think those are the 3 big things that we can really give you on the tips on how to beat this particular escape room. And most escape rooms is usually operate that way. In terms of like the set design, what did you think of it?
I think the set design was a 10 out of 10. Yeah. It was very creepy and to do so, and the actor inside the room,
he was really good
playing Rick. I think his actual name was Tim. He was amazing, and he was also very panicky, and that is something that adds to your stress as well, because you've got somebody who's panicking and stressed out walking around, and that's adding stress to you. And so well played.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
That really adds to that, and I kept just asking him questions, and I think we all kind of were like trying to take care of him in a certain way, because
you just felt bad.
Jax, you and I have all worked with difficult customers and customer service and everything, and I think we just know how to talk to people. And so I just kept asking him, what's your favorite ride at Disneyland, buddy? Like,
he looked at you, he was like, Space Mountain.
He was like, sure. I just wanted him to calm down.
Yeah, it was fun, but like you said, it did add to the tension, and also he kind of steered you in the right direction if you were getting lost without giving anything away, and I thought it was a really smart thing to do, because this is one of the only escape rooms that I know of that I've done that does not give you any clues. They will not give you any help. But the actor, female or male, that is in the room with you will kind of steer you in the right direction. They're not going to give you the entire clue, but they'll kind of be like, oh, what's this over here? You know? Like,
yeah, well, he just kept saying, like, multiple times, and this is where we started getting, like, oh, okay, we haven't done everything, is like, have we looked under everything? And it's like, have we looked through everything? And like, and so you're like, and I'm looking at Mike and Jackie going, we have not looked through everything.
We
and
have
then we're like, and
not.
then I systematically had to start going back through all the rooms and crevices and looking through everything. And lo and behold, when you think you have searched everything,
oh, there's more.
There is more. And you guys, you have to systematically just be like, looking through this, and then if it is clear, put it in a corner. If it's clear, designate a corner which you're like, this is clear.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that you don't just look at something and then toss it off to the side and be like, did I look through that? You know? Like, try to keep things as organized as possible.
Be thorough.
Be thorough.
Be very thorough.
Be organized.
Yeah. But the set design was fantastic. The acting was fantastic. And overall,
everybody's so nice. And everybody's
yeah,
so cool.
It was such a great, welcoming experience. It was great to be back, for sure. And I want to do all 4. I want to beat the basement. We have to beat the basement.
We have to.
Before we can move on to the elevator shaft, and we have to beat that.
We are also super competitive.
Yes.
That I need to go back. I wanted to. They offered us, and they offered this to everybody. Mm-hmm. They said they'll give us like 20% off if we want to get tickets right then and there after we had gotten out of the room. I would have loved to. I just didn't have another, $70 for everybody, like $100 for everybody to do that. But I would have done it in a heartbeat. But we are definitely coming back for you guys after the 8th of November, because that's when we get back from Orlando. We are going back to Sylmar. We are going to beat this room because it is a 12% success rate, and I need to beat it under 28 minutes.
We were one clue away from solving the maze.
The 3 of us in a 10-person room, 1 clue away. We locked ourselves out of something, and
even the game master came up and he was like, "You guys were 1 clue away." He was rooting for us.
Yeah, and we were not disappointed in ourselves at all, because I feel like for 3 people we did an amazing job. And especially for me and Jackie being our first time going through an escape room ever, we started with the granddaddy of escape rooms.
And that's how we started too. When I did my first escape room was the basement. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you something. It just there's a lot of good quality escape rooms, but there's nothing so far that has matched anything basement related, anything that company does. The elevator shaft that we did was also just as detailed, but it was a completely different animal than the basement. It was a completely different vibe and style.
Now, in the elevator shaft, does the shaft actually...
The one that we went into, it moved in forward.
Oh, it moved in.
But I think it wasn't the elevator shaft at the time. I think it was like a trash compactor or something of that sort.
Okay.
And that one was smaller. It was 4 people.
This one's a 6.
Yeah,
like
but
more than 6.
It just goes to show that they keep switching it up. They keep adding more rooms. Go check out the basement experience, you guys. It is worth the drive. It is worth the price, and it's just so much fun. And I'll tell you guys something. A lot of people are like, I don't really want to be in an escape room with other people. I'll tell you something. You would think it would be awkward because you don't know the people, but as soon as you guys go in that room and you guys are working together, it's like you guys have known each other forever. Yeah. It's amazing how much of a camaraderie and just like a team exercise that you get from working with complete strangers. And you never know, because let me tell you something, with all the escape rooms that I've done, you meet some pretty brilliant minds that see things that you think that you would see and you don't, and they just solve it. They're like, oh, it's this. And you're like, thank you, person that I've met for 20 minutes locked in this room.
Now, if you absolutely don't want to do an escape room with somebody that you don't know, they do offer private rooms. Yeah. It's just that the price does go up, and they have a chart online. It'll tell you exactly how much the escape room is, and I think for 10 people, for like a full 10 for a private room, it's like $350, $390, depending on if it's weekday or weekend. It spans there. So they do have that option, and if you're willing to pay that premium price,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
But don't let the fact that you're going to be with strangers in the escape room deter you from doing it with strangers, because it is fun. It's like you get to know these people in like a matter of 45 minutes when you're locked in this room.
Yeah. Now, I loved that it was just the three of us, but it just happened to be the three of us because nobody else signed up for that time, for that night, because we did it on a Monday night. But I secretly was all like, dang, I wish we had like 3 or 4 more people in here.
Yeah, just to kind of help spread out the clue finding.
The clue finding, and then just, you know, more people to die together. Like,
yeah.
But watching our little actor Rick die on the ground, I was conflicted. I was all...
We literally all went, aww.
I was like, should we sit with him?
I kind of wanted to die too. I was like, oh.
I did too. I was like, you know, like the last, we were trying, but the last 30 seconds we knew we didn't have it because we got locked out of something. And I just felt like we should have just like sat Indian style in a circle and just held hands. And at the very, very end, just been like, ugh.
Just died.
Just died.
Just deceased.
Anyways, guys, check it out.
Yeah.
Please.
It's worth your money.
Some of these tips and tricks work. If you guys were looking for spoilers for how it worked exactly, I'm sorry. We made a deal. We wouldn't give away the secrets. I don't want to give away the secrets because it wouldn't matter anyways because they can change everything they want to inside that room. So it would be a moot point. But we hope that our tips and tricks of how to maneuver secret rooms and whatnot helped you guys out. And definitely go out and check out Sylmar.
Yeah, go out there and experience this, guys. There's a reason why it's rated like the #1 escape room.
Yes.
And the quality shows. So go out there, have fun, bring some friends with you. Mm-hmm. It is worth the drive. Do it. And it's, you know what? Honestly, it's a very fun like horror themed experience that's year round. So if you guys are like getting an itch for like Halloween or like horror or anything, go to the basement.
Yeah.
Do it.
Check it out.
Do it now. Now.
Sign up.
Do it. Do it right now.
So with that said,
I'm crazy. Go check out the basement experience, you guys. Go ahead and like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and always be ready.
Because you never know where your compass will take you.
Bye!
Like Sylmar.
In order to escape the Fracture Compass YouTube page, you need to hit subscribe. That's your end clue.
That's your end clue.
Oh. Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow.
Do it!
Okay. Buy your tickets. Buy your tickets now. Buy them. Buy your tickets. Do it.